Chapter 13, Murder in the Dark. Okay. Well, that escalated quickly. Who's dying? Wiley, hopefully. I guess. I don't like our options. It's cooler out today. A refreshing breeze blows, whipping my ponytail in the wind. I stand on my podium watching the band set up a run of the opener, and I feel oddly light. Despite being stuck in band camp, yesterday was a good day. Susie's apology and Olive's leadership revelations needed to be put on the table, and now we're all better off. Perfect setting for a murder to happen tonight now. As for the rest of the band, this whole escape plan seems to have forged a new sense of camaraderie between us. Even those who don't know about it seem aware that something is up. We're not going to stand for this. Wow, way to go, everyone! I think that's the best you've ever performed, Mars. The band perks up at my enthusiasm.
Not good enough. Never good enough. Do it again.
And just like that, their enthusiasm is crushed. Good job. They follow Mr. Wiley's orders, feet dragging. I call down to Mr. Wiley in a light-hearted tone. Come on, sir. Where's that positivity of yours gone?
Get set.
I'm no optimist. I'm a realist, Cadence.
Deep breaths. Don't let him get to you, Cadence. Just keep doing your job and try to keep the band happy. Hopefully, we're not going to be here much longer. When Mr. Wiley's back is turned, I narrow my eyes at the back of his head. What weaknesses are you hiding from us, I wonder? After we get through mandatory sectionals, we'll have the rest of the day for ourselves. I decide to hang out in the band room today and study my score. As much as I want to go home, I also want the band to keep improving. I might as well work on my stuff while I'm stuck here.
Cadence, I could use your help.
With what?
Tell everyone to gather in the band room after practice is over. I have a special announcement.
Could this be it? Have we made up for lost time? Are we finally going home? I can already feel the stress lifting from my shoulders as I jog off to find the others. I just can't wait to see what cockamamie thing he's going to suggest this time. I'm stepping into the hallway when I hear Poptart scream my name.
Cadence, help!
Poptart? What's wrong?
It's serious. Something's wrong with Olive.
What?
She's being nice.
The entire mellophone section breaks into a fit of giggling. All except for Olive, who just rolls her eyes. Oh, please.
Are you feeling okay, Olive?
For the last time, I'm fine! But you're not going to be fine if you keep asking me that! She seems fine to me, Poptart.
Get lost.
Her words are sharp, but I can sense the humor behind them. I'm about to go on my way when I remember I come bearing a message. When sectionals are over, Mr. Wiley wants us all to meet in the band room for an announcement. Olive and Poptart exchange a surprised look. I can tell they're thinking the same thing as me, but I don't hang around to discuss it. I need to tell the others. By the time we have everyone in the band room, the air is permeated with excitement. Everyone is talking about this special announcement and what it could be. Most everyone seems to be in agreement that we're going home. I stand at the front of the room, struggling not to get my hopes up as I listen to their conversations.
Is everyone here? Even the pit?
Yes, we're all here, Mr. Wiley.
I have an announcement to make.
Excellent. This evening, we will be holding a special event to unify the band and build morale. This event will be a horror spectacular!
Okay. Interesting.
We'll gather around the campfire for some good old-fashioned s'mores and horror stories. Then, once everyone's nice and paranoid, we'll scatter into the pitch-black woods to play Murder in the Dark.
Oh. Wait, that's a game? Murder in the Dark? Okay, I'm like, is this a game that I've, never heard of before? Nope, Wiley's just made it up. Okay.
I'll explain the rules once we get there. For now, go get some food. We'll meet in the woods at sundown. Oh, And this event is mandatory.
Good talk.
See you soon!
Any other time, I'm sure the band would have been thrilled to have this special event. But now, after weeks of hard work, when we want nothing more than to go home to our families...
Cadence, this is it.
Huh?
The opportunity we had hoped for.
Before I can say anything further, our other friends swamp us, everyone talking about the announcement. You want to do it tonight, eh? We could.
I feel like an idiot. I thought for sure he was going to tell us we'd be going home today.
It's all good.
You're not the only one, Susie. But hey, this could be fun. We might as well enjoy it. Samuel is the master of scary stories. You'll grace us with one tonight, won't you? We'll see.
At least no one is too disappointed by Mr. Wiley's special event. There's no denying this will be good for morale and band bonding, though this murder in the dark game sounds ominous. Only Poptart maintains a serious expression, his face clouded in thought. He's like, you all are complacent, hanging out here. But Poptart actually likes being here, and he's the only one being like, this is an opportunity for us to make a plan to get out of here. After dinner, we all head back to our rooms to gather up blankets and snacks for tonight. Then we head to the campground. Last night, this place felt dark and eerie as we gathered in secret. Now there's a warm glow from the fire. Band members mill about, laughing and joking with one another. It feels completely different. As soon as we get there, Susie leaves my side to join Eugene sitting on a large boulder. I spy Peter and Felicity curled up together as well. Everyone is pairing off. I scan the crowd for Poptart and his impossible-to-miss hair, but he's not here yet. Oh well, I'm sure he'll be here soon enough. Boy is putting in work, okay? Hiding my disappointment, I sit down on an unoccupied log, wrapping the blanket I brought around my shoulders.
Hey.
Oh no, it's Agent Albatross!
The seat taken?
Before I can say anything, Alex plops down, taking the spot I was saving for Poptart.
Ugh, it's getting cold. Want to share my snuggly?
Your what? I have a blanket. And how would we even share a snuggly? Do we each take a sleeve or what?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Thank you. Poptart appears out of seemingly nowhere and stands peering down at us. He's carrying 2 wooden skewers and an armful of s'mores ingredients. My mouth waters at the splendid sight of marshmallows, chocolate bars, and graham crackers just waiting to combine into a delicious dessert. Alex narrows his eyes at Poptart in challenge, waiting for him to say something, but Poptart merely stands there.
What? You want me to move? No, it's cool. I'll sit on your lap.
He goes to do just that. Alex practically falls off the log in his mad scramble to get away. Poptart takes his spot, looking triumphant. Hey, it worked.
Whatever. I was gonna go sit with someone else.
He moves off, head hanging in defeat. Hey, try one of the other girls that's in your story. It might work. You know, I never noticed that there's a swing on this tree. How long has that been there? Has it just been too dark for me to see it other times? Has it always been there? I feel kind of bad.
I can call him back if you'd like, but it might get crowded with the 3 of us.
I picture trying to share a log with Poptart and Alex, me caught in the miserable middle as they argue back and forth all night long. No thanks.
Good. Here.
He hands me a skewer and the bag of marshmallows. I eagerly tear it open and stab one fat marshmallow onto the end. He does the same. Despite the warmth of the fire, a sudden cool breeze sweeps through the campground and a chill runs up my spine. Chilly night. Want to share my blanket? Did you just literally use Alex's line on Poptart now?
Yeah.
Oh, is it finally time? Oh my... That is the cutest thing. Stop. I was starting to believe there were no CGs. And look at this. Look how cute they are. They look like, I don't know. They just look like little kids. They look so cute. Like so chibi-like or something. I don't know. It's adorable. I wasn't picturing Poptart to be like that much taller than her, though. Is she like really down? I don't know. Something about like the height just doesn't look right here, but I like it. It's super cute. I take my blanket and wrap it around our shoulders. Then I scoot a little closer to Poptart, leaning into his warmth. Red tinges Poptart's pale cheeks. There. Nice and cozy. After a brief hesitation, he slowly rests his cheek on my head.
I think this is the coziest I've ever been in my whole life.
At first, Poptart's body is stiff, but I can feel him relaxing little by little, melting against me like a warm marshmallow. My heart feels as light as air. So warm and comforting. I could stay in this moment forever. Front row seats, too. I nodded the fire.
The perfect spot to roast marshmallows. How do you like your marshmallows?
Well toasted. Borderline burnt. What about you?
I like them soft and gooey, with just a little bit of brown.
Same. You don't like them burnt?
No.
But yours is on fire.
Ugh!
He got distracted. With a gasp, Poptart pulls his marshmallow from the depths of the flames. It's singed to a black crisp and burning merrily away. He blows it out, looking horrified. I killed it. Oh no.
I've killed it.
Here, I'll eat it. You take mine. It's just how you like it. We trade marshmallows. Poptart marvels at mine, impressed.
Your marshmallow toasting technique is incredible. I have a lot to learn. Here, I'll prepare the chocolate and graham crackers.
Just as we're tucking into our delicious s'mores, Mr. Wiley comes marching in. He stops in front of the fire and does a sweep of the clearing.
Is everyone here?
He glances at a clipboard in his hands.
Is he taking roll call?
I guess he really was serious about this being mandatory.
Yes, everyone's here. Let's get this thing started. Help yourselves to marshmallows, there's plenty to go around. I'm going to kick the night off with a scary story.
Samuel needs to tell a scary story.
Yeah, Sammy boy.
Hang on, don't you want to hear my scary story? It's called The Tale of the Rogue Band Parent.
Oh, come on!
Guys, we've got to hear this one.
We settle in to listen, a number of students crowding around the fire to toast marshmallows. I take a big bite of my s'more and my taste buds scream with joy. Yum! If only I had some milk to go with it.
And the band buses drove on, their occupants unaware that Mr. Smith had gotten off at the exit, driving the equipment truck to a place that he knew he could sell the instruments and absolve himself of his debt once and for all.
Mr. Wiley, is this a true story?
Don't interrupt!
Ugh.
This is lame. I thought we were gonna get to hear scary stories. That's not scary.
Wait until you get out of college, kid.
I think it'd be pretty scary if we got to a competition and realized all of our instruments had been stolen. Terrifying. Come on, Sam. Tell us a story and put this one to shame.
Fine! Forget it! I give up!
Mr. Wiley storms away from the fire, and the band has the nerve to applaud. I hold back laughter. Things feel normal again. I can almost forget that Mr. Wiley has trapped us here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, me too.
These s'mores are so good. I'm having another.
Look at that! Perfectly toasted. I go to remove my marshmallow from the fire. As soon as I do, a gray blur rushes past and the marshmallow vanishes. What? Bandit! How dare you steal from me twice in 1 week?
She must think you're an easy target. Here.
He gives me a fresh marshmallow to try again.
Keep a better eye on this one.
While I roast another marshmallow and keep a firm lookout for thieving raccoons, the band tries to pump Samuel up to tell them a ghost story.
Hey, Samuel.
Please tell us one, Samuel! Please, please, please!
But I wanted to hear the end of The Tale of the Rogue Band Parent.
Please! Peter says your ghost stories are the best!
It's true.
Sophomore year, he told one on the bowl trip about a Texas ghost town, where this kid got separated from his field trip group and got trapped in a time hole. He saw a ghost from the past, and then they found his body like an hour later, but he died of starvation. It was nuts. Everyone was afraid to go to the bathroom alone for the rest of the trip.
The entire band bursts into pleading. I join in, egging him on. Eventually, our voices swell and join together in an excited chant.
Samuel! Samuel! Samuel!
Finally, after a deep sigh, Samuel slowly rises to his feet.
Very well.
Everyone cheers. Samuel holds his hand up for silence. I've never seen the band shut their mouths so fast. I bet Mr. Wiley wishes he had half of Samuel's power to control the masses. Everyone leans forward in their seats, anticipating his story. For a long moment, Samuel stands in front of the fire, gazing into its depths, its flickering flames reflected in his sunglasses. Then slowly, purposefully, he reaches up and removes them. A hush falls over the band.
Listen.
Before we begin, you must know that this is a true story, so please show respect for the victims by maintaining complete silence.
The victims? I swallow nervously, exchanging a wide-eyed glance with Poptart. The story hasn't even begun, and I've already got chills.
This story takes place in the 1860s, in the midst of the Civil War, a time of great strife for the United States of America. But this story is not about a famous general nor a bloody battle, but rather a simple family.
Samuel moves his gaze about the clearing, meeting the eyes of every single band member as he tells his tale.
The Edwards family. Jonathan Edwards was the head of the family. He and his wife Rebecca had two beautiful children, William and Molly.
Oh gosh, I'm in the story! No, wait, what if I'm a victim? Samuel, please, I love you, don't do this to me.
They lived far from town, out in the secluded woods next to a peaceful, shimmering lake. The closest neighbor was more than a mile away. The family was very tight-knit. The children played together every day, rolling in the fields and swimming in the lake. Husband and wife never fought and loved one another dearly. You can imagine their devastation when Jonathan was called away to fight in the war.
Samuel's expression becomes pained, as if he knew Jonathan personally and was crushed when he left home. I grin, taking a moment to admire his storytelling abilities.
He didn't want to leave them, but he had no choice in the matter. And so he bid his beloved Rebecca farewell, promised the children he would see them again soon, and he traveled south. He survived many skirmishes, but during a particularly bloody battle, he sustained a heavy blow to the head. Collapsing into darkness, he was certain that this was the end for him. His last thought was of Rebecca as he embraced death. Only, he did not die. Jonathan awoke much later to find the battle had ended. His company had moved on without him, and all was quiet. He did not know who had won the battle. He did not know how much time had passed. However, he did know that he was deep in enemy territory wearing the blue uniform of the Union. If he did not act quickly, he could be taken prisoner, or worse. Fighting through the pounding pain in his head, Jonathan stripped the gray uniform off of a deceased Confederate soldier and donned it as a disguise. Then he turned his feet north, towards home. He would not be returning to the battle. All he wanted to do was return to his lakeside cottage and see the face of his darling wife, Rebecca, once more. He traveled for days upon days. Luck was on his side. He did not encounter soldiers from either side of the war, only kind civilians who saw past the uniform to the human underneath. They sent him on his way with food, water, and medicine. Finally, after months of aching feet, an empty stomach, and sleepless nights, he was home. Jonathan's heart rose in his chest as he stepped through the front door of his cottage, and as he did, a shot rang out.
A soft gasp ripples through the clearing.
Jonathan's body collapsed, face down. He was dead before he hit the ground. The bullet left a neat hole in his forehead. It leaked blood onto the wooden floorboards beneath his body, staining them crimson. From the shadows emerged Rebecca, holding a rifle. William and Molly huddled behind her long skirt, wide-eyed and fearful. She cautiously approached the enemy soldier that had broken into her home. Hands shaking, she kneeled down, removed his gray cap, and glimpsed the face beneath. It was Jonathan, her husband, whom she loved more than anything. The children at once fell to their knees by their father's side, weeping and wailing. Rebecca, however, said nothing. For a long time, she remained where she was, staring into her husband's pale blue eyes, glazed in death. Then slowly, purposefully, she rose to her feet. Her face showed no emotion as she lifted the rifle and pulled the trigger. She put a bullet in William's head. She put a bullet in Molly's head.
Dang it, Mom.
And then she turned the gun on herself and put a bullet in her own head.
Samuel pauses. The woods are dead silent. Everyone is consumed by the story, waiting for him to continue. Satisfied with their reaction, he does.
3 days passed before a neighbor found them. The old woman had come knocking, wondering why Rebecca had not stopped by for a visit lately. She nearly died of a heart attack when she beheld the family of corpses, lying side by side on the scarlet-stained wood. Their bodies were buried together on a hill, under an ancient oak tree, with a beautiful view of the lake they loved so much. A large rock marks the grave, worn by time. No one can identify it now. You may think the story ends there, but you'd be wrong. 100 years later, the lake that the Edwards family was buried at became a popular campground destination. Fishing, hiking, history. This place had it all.
Don't you dare tell me that's where we are.
However, campers reported unexplained incidents at the lake. Many experienced feelings of hopelessness or a strange depression that would settle over them. They no longer felt like themselves. Others mentioned odd occurrences such as hearing a woman crying somewhere in the night, but when they went to investigate, no one was there.
The woman crying is a little suspicious, too. Samuel pauses, listening. I press my body closer to Poptart and suppress a shiver. He does the same, wrapping an arm around my shoulders. Our eyes remain fixed on Samuel, but our ears strain to hear the sound of a weeping woman in the woods. We can hear nothing but the distant chirp of crickets and the crackle of the campfire.
Then children began to go missing. They disappear without a trace. Sometimes during the night, sometimes when their families were right nearby in broad daylight. 1 second they were there, and the next, they were gone. Trackers did everything they could to find these children, but not even bodies could be recovered. Experts were baffled. So there was a pedophile in the area. Big whoop.
Peter is immediately shushed by half the band.
However, there is one boy who was found miles away from the campground, covered in scratches and without shoes. He was 10 years old. Trackers said it was physically impossible for him to have walked over the dangerous terrain all on his own, and yet, there he was. As soon as they found him, they asked him what happened to him. He told them he had gotten lost, and then...
Samuel pauses, and I nearly tear my hair out in frustration. Just spit it out!
He mentioned a woman. A woman in a long skirt. She told him to come with her, that she would take him home, and so he had followed her.
And
that was all he said. He never spoke of what happened again, and when questioned, he couldn't seem to remember anything that had happened.
Was it Rebecca?
Some who knew the story began to claim it was she, while others scoffed and shook their heads.
he nods towards Peter, who grins innocently.
The campground is still in use to this day. In fact, I heard that a sports compound has been built not too far from the gravesite.
Stop it! Stop it! This is too scary! I'm ready for this story to be over.
All right.
Wrap it up so we can get to our game, Samuel.
Fine. It is said that Rebecca can never be at peace for her sins, that she roams the lakeside woods as a malevolent spirit, caught in a storm of negative emotions. She will never see her family again. She cannot follow them into the next life to seek their forgiveness and absolve herself of her sins. And so, she shall stay here forever and suffer in turmoil until the end of days.
Samuel's final words ring in the silence. Then, slowly, he sits back down and the band bursts into applause. Okay, for like 3/4 of that story, I was like, well, that's not scary. That's just a tragedy. But now I'm worried that we're on the campground that is near the gravesite. Because I'm like, there's a lake here. And a woman crying. It's a little suspicious.
Wow, he's so cool.
I don't think anyone will be able to top that story.
Exactly, Cadence. Which is why it's the perfect time to play Murder in the Dark. Everyone up.
It's not easy to leave my cozy blanket behind. As soon as I stand up and step away from the fire, I'm assaulted by the cold. It's chillier than I thought.
Hopefully this game will warm us up.
How do we play?
Everyone gather round and listen up to the rules. I'm going to pass out cards that will tell you whether you are a townsperson or a murderer. Since this is a pretty big group, we'll have 7 murderers. Don't let anyone see what you are.
Are we playing Among Us? He shuffles some cards and begins handing them out. I eagerly accept mine and turn it over in my hands. I'm a townsperson. Darn. What are you, Poptart? That's a shadow! No! Poptart! Okay.
You'll have to wait and see.
Well, that's the look of a murderer if I ever saw one.
What, this innocent face?
Evil. Evil!
No! I'm innocent! Innocent!
What's going to happen is we're all going to stray into the woods. Murderers, your goal is to get away with murder without anyone seeing you. All you have to do is pretend to stab your victim with your fist. Once you've been stabbed, you must fall to the ground and pretend to be dead. If you happen upon a body, shout, "Murder!" at the top of your lungs. Then we will reconvene here for a trial in which everyone will vote for who the murderer might be. That person will be executed and a new round will begin.
Okay, it's literally Among Us. Great.
The game ends either when all the murderers have been executed or all of the townspeople are dead.
Sounds fun!
What do we get if we
Fun memories made with your bandmates. Not every game has to have a reward, Peter. Any other questions?
So we're kicked out of the game if we die? What then?
You can no longer speak or participate in the game if you're dead. Instead, you can hang out here in the afterlife and roast marshmallows.
Nice. The afterlife sounds awesome. Honestly, I would want to get murdered so I can come back to the fire.
I'd send you there myself if I could, but Mom would definitely send me along after you.
Peter?
Yo.
Can the murderers kill more than once in each round?
Yes. As many as you can get away with until a meeting is called.
Aaron, does this mean you're a murderer? I'm not. I was just curious. I can't believe it. I trusted you.
I'll kill you.
Shut up, Doug.
That's enough! Let's begin. Everyone, go your separate ways. I'll be joining the fun as well. Good luck to everyone.
The band does as he says. One by one, we part ways and vanish into the dark woods. I cast a glance over my shoulder at Poptart as I step into the shade of the trees. He gives me a reassuring grin. Or wait, is it a mischievous grin? Can I trust Poptart? No. I can trust no one but myself in this game of life or death. If you're a murderer, come at me! I walk deeper into the woods, fists clenched in determination. I can hear my bandmates getting further and further away until silence completely envelops me. These woods seem bigger at night. What should I do? Should I hide?
Hey there.
I leap backwards with a frightened gasp as I notice Peter standing in the shadows of a tall conifer. He just smirks and cocks an eyebrow, remaining where he is. Stay back!
I wonder if this is the tree.
What tree?
The one that the family in Samuel's story is buried under.
He takes a step towards me. I take a step backwards, nervous. You're creeping me out. Besides, there's supposed to be a large boulder that marks the grave. Peter looks past my shoulder and nods.
Like that one.
Heart pounding, I turn to look. As soon as I do, there's a rush of footsteps. I utter a short scream as Peter grabs my shoulders. That's it! I'm dead! Dead in the first round!
I'm a townsperson.
What? Peter lets go of my shoulders.
The look on your face.
Chuckling, he turns and strides quickly away. You jerk! You're lucky I'm not a murderer, or I would have stabbed you right here. Yeah, you better run! What a brat. He ignores me, disappearing behind some bushes. As soon as he does, I hear a fierce rustling and a sharp gasp. Curious, I step forward to investigate. Suddenly, screaming splits the night air. Get away from me! Susie! She's in trouble. Maybe I can glimpse the murderer. I rush to find her. Susie! I find her crouched on the ground, shaking. She peers up at me, her blue eyes shining fearfully in the dark night. Cadence, you came! I'd hoped someone would come. I glance about warily, but there's no one else here. I must have just missed the murderer. Curses! I trot over to Susie. Are you okay? Are you a dead body now? Susie says nothing and merely smiles. I reach for her hand to help her up, taking a deep breath so that I can scream murder at the top of my lungs. Yeah, I'm like, this is all a ploy! Susie takes my hand in hers, gripping it hard. Too hard. What a gullible fool I am. With a yell, Susie launches herself to her feet, stabbing at me with her free fist. I twist backwards, avoiding death by an inch. But Susie still has a vice-like grip on my hand. I pull with all my might, but I can't escape. This is it for me.
You are my best friend. I hope you can forgive me for this, Cadence.
Susie, no! Have mercy! She laughs evilly.
I ran out of mercy a long time ago.
She swings her fist upwards to take another stab at me. I brace myself for another dodge. Then there's a loud thud. Susie's eyes go wide and her jaw drops. She lets go of me instantly and cries out.
Ow! That hurt!
She whirls around, eyes sparking with fury. Behind her stands Poptart, his own hand raised in a fist.
Did you just stab me?
Mm-hmm.
Yup. Poptart nods proudly.
You're dead now.
Didn't you realize I was in the middle of murdering her? We're on the same team, dummy.
Oh,
Whoops. Sorry about that.
Poptart scratches the back of his head sheepishly, though not looking the least bit sorry.
Well, you're dead now, so you should probably sit down.
Thanks a lot.
Susie drops to the ground with a huff, crossing her arms angrily. I breathe a sigh of relief. My murder hero. Poptart takes a step towards me. It is then I realize that while my would-be murderer has been defeated, I'm still facing down another potential murderer. I begin backing away from Poptart, twisting my face into a pained expression and whimpering. Poptart, you're a murderer? And you killed my best friend! How could you? Poptart quickly catches on and joins in my dramatic act.
I had to do it, Cadence. She was going to kill you, and I couldn't have that.
Well, what do you mean?
Because I'll be the one to kill you.
Laughing demonically, he lunges towards me. With a strangled yelp, I sprint into the woods, but I know Poptart is faster than me. He'll catch me in no time. I push myself to the limit, running as fast as I can as I dodge around trees and leap over fallen branches. All the while, I listen for the sound of my pursuer. Huh? I don't hear anything. I grind to a halt, panting. Did I lose him? Then I hear them. Footsteps. Someone steps out from behind a tree, and I whirl around to face them. But it's not Poptart. Hello. Mr. Wiley! He draws closer, looming over me. I stumble backwards, trying to gather myself for a second sprint.
I know what you're up to.
What? I attempt to smile, figuring that he's playing up the drama of the game.
Don't play dumb with me. You called a gathering with the section leaders last night, didn't you? You want to leave band camp.
Did Clark narc on us again? I freeze on the spot and stare at him, mute with terror. No. How does he know that? He glares me right in the face, standing inches away.
Don't lie to me.
Tell me the truth.
I didn't...
The truth, Cadence!
I can feel tears building in my eyes. What do I do? Well, I didn't hear a "bwah," so that's a good sign. I mean, he's gonna know if we do this. This doesn't seem wise either. We're not lying if we do this. And we just want to go, right? I feel like this is the least bad of the three, so I'm gonna do this. Please let us leave band camp, Mr. Wiley.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It has everything to do with it. Please, we want to go home.
No!
Please!
Why do you all want to go home so badly? We're having so much fun at Camp Bearpaw. Wouldn't it be better if the fun never ended?
A chill runs up my spine. It's been fun, but it has to end eventually.
No. No. It can't end. It can't be over. It can't!
Murder!
Mr. Wiley and I nearly leap out of our skins at the hair-raising shriek that pierces the air all around us. Mr. Wiley whirls around and there stands Poptart. His eyes are wide with fear, but his face is set in determination. I can feel the tension radiating off of his body from here as he faces up to our band director. But all of the tension seems to have dissolved on Mr. Wiley's end. He exhales loudly, pressing a hand to his forehead.
God, Poptart! You scared the bejesus out of me! Can't you see that there's no dead body here?
What is with the flowy smile? My dude. My dudiest dude. You have the best sprites.
Not yet.
The tension returns full force. Mr. Wiley glances back and forth between us, gritting his teeth nervously. I briefly wonder whether or not he's a murderer, though I'm past the point of caring after what just occurred. Then Poptart catches my eye. He glances swiftly towards something hanging off of Mr. Wiley's belt. I follow his gaze and spot the keys hanging there, glinting in the moonlight. Oh, this is our chance. Why would me pretending to be a dead body help in this situation? Because then I just gotta go back to the campfire. No. I gotta murder this guy. He goes back. He's stuck there. I guess he has to stay here and pretend to be dead until somebody finds him. And then he goes back to the campfire, if someone does. Then we take his keys. Right? We just gotta time it. Where we stab him. Stab. And take his keys. This is wild. I let out a deranged laugh and raised my fist. Mr. Wiley faces me full on, turning his back on Poptart. Then I lunge.
Ah!
Mr. Wiley grabs my wrist and fights to hold my invisible knife at bay. During the struggle, I spy Poptart in the corner of my eye, swooping in to remove the keys from Mr. Wiley's belt with deft fingers. I laugh louder to conceal the sound of their jangling.
Yikes! I didn't know you had it in you, Cadence. Stop laughing like that!
Never! Poptart dodges back out and I see him slip his hand into his pocket. He did it. I immediately relax and let my hands drop. Mr. Wiley lets go of my wrist and steps back, blinking in surprise. Just kidding. I'm not a murderer.
But I am.
Poptart drives his fist into Mr. Wiley's shoulder. He drops to his knees with a loud gasp.
Damn it! You got me!
The greenery parts and a number of kids shuffle onto the path. What timing.
We heard there was a murder? Does that mean we go back to the campground?
Yes, Poptart and I found Mr. Wiley's dead body.
Yeah.
Too bad dead bodies can't speak.
Hey!
If the band director is dead, that means no more band camp! Awesome!
It's a risky joke, and nobody laughs at it except Tom. I especially can't bring myself to after Mr. Wiley's threat tonight. We should have been more careful about our meeting. Am I going to have to face repercussions for this? Not if we get that blackmail first. However, Mr. Wiley doesn't bring it up for the rest of the evening. We continue to play the game as if it never happened. But honestly, I can't bring myself to focus on the town trial.
Cadence, did you see anything suspicious?
You're awfully quiet, aren't you? That's suspicious in and of itself.
I'm not being suspicious. I quickly think up an excuse to get out of playing this game. No way I want to head back into the woods with Mr. Wiley lurking out there. I ate too many s'mores and my stomach hurts.
I'm not letting you escape that easily. You murdered both Peter and Susie, my boyfriend and my best friend. I found both of their dead bodies and saw you leaving the scene each time. So what do you have to say to that?
The band murmurs amongst themselves. That I had the best yandere murder boyfriend?
Whoa!
Oh man. Now that I think about it, I found her on the scene after Mr. Wiley was murdered.
Executor! You're going to waste an execution on the wrong person.
You really suck at lying, Cadence. You'll pay for what you did. All in favor of executing the drum major?
Practically the entire band raises their hand, and I feel annoyed that they would so easily believe Felicity over me. Whatever, I'm not going to put up a fight. I don't want to play anymore.
Goodbye, Cadence.
Bye. Rolling my eyes, I step away from the others and head for the campfire.
I hope your stomach feels better.
Oh, right. I hold my stomach and pretend to cringe in pain. Thanks. Pop-Tart, why? I've already been killed!
Wait! It was me. I killed Peter, and Susie, and Mr. Wiley, and a few others I don't remember who.
Jeez, Pop-Tart, you're a straight-up serial killer.
Right?
Oh, man.
It was brutal. It all happened so fast.
Wait, but we already used up our execution on Cadence. So that means he gets to be free for the next round and continue murdering people.
No.
I'm executing myself. I can't live with the guilt any longer.
With that, Pop-Tart abandons the game as well and comes to sit next to me by the fire. My reason for killing is dead, and so I have killed myself. There's some grumbling from the other band members, but they pick the game back up without a problem. We watch them scatter into the woods once more. Pop-Tart attempts to secure our blanket back into place, but its warmth can no longer reach me. I feel a chill that no blanket or fire can cure. The dead students remain nearby, talking quietly amongst themselves. Mr. Wiley, despite being a murder victim, heads into the woods to supervise the game. As soon as he's gone, Pop-Tart leans in close to me, reaching into his jacket pocket. He removes the keys, showing them to me. You did it.
We did it.
He tucks the keys safely back into his pocket.
Are you okay? What did he say to you back there?
He knew about the meeting. I guess we weren't as secretive as we thought.
I heard him say so. And I'm sorry for screaming like that. I didn't know what to do. I was afraid he might... I don't know. It was the first thing I thought of.
It's fine, Pop-Tart. You're not the one who scared me.
What do you think? Should we try and break into Mr. Wiley's cottage tonight while he's off supervising the game?
I stare into the deep darkness of the woods. Mr. Wiley is out there somewhere, watching. Not tonight. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, then.
Silence passes between us. For a while, we just sit there, trying to enjoy the atmosphere. The game continues on. The band is full of laughter as they socialize and roast marshmallows under the stars. Bandit flits among them, trying to steal marshmallows when she can. But I feel disconnected from it all. No one knows what happened to me tonight. I'm alone. Pop-Tart knows what happened. Then a soft shoulder presses against my own. Pop-Tart's warmth seeps into my skin, and I feel a sense of security washing over me. I look to Pop-Tart, and our eyes meet. He smiles at me, kind and reassuring, and wraps our shared blanket tighter around my shoulders. That's right. I'm not alone. Pop-Tart and I promise to protect one another. I'm going to be fine so long as I have him. Mr. Wiley's special event drags on and on. It's well past midnight when he finally lets us go back to our rooms. I'm surrounded by friends as we walk back to the lodge.
Murderers could have won if you hadn't stabbed me and gotten yourself executed, Pop-Tart. And Cadence, why would you be his accomplice if you were a townsperson?
I didn't plan on becoming his accomplice. Yeah, that's not very fair. And you barely put up a fight when we wanted to execute you. Like you would have listened to me anyways.
I told you, I couldn't live with the guilt.
I mean, it was cute that you wanted to play the hero, saving Cadence from me, but then you went and got her executed anyways. You should have spoken up earlier if you wanted her to live.
It's fine, Susie. I wouldn't have let you get executed, Cadence. Thanks, Alex. You're welcome. But if I remember correctly, you're one of the people who called for my execution. Got him.
Here we are. Have a good night, Cadence. You too, Susie.
Good night, Pop-Tart. Let's hang out tomorrow.
Of course. Definitely.
See you tomorrow!
Good night. I'm bushed. Night, Cadence. Night. We're too tired to talk much as we pull in our pajamas. I collapse onto my bed with a great sigh and I'm out like a light, too fatigued to even worry about what tomorrow might bring.